Tom Oates, Packers' only real option? Run the football. Cleveland way back last season, when the Green Bay Packers also had to run the table to have any chance of making the NFL playoffs, Coach Mike McCarthy was forced to reinvent his offense because he was pretty much down to Ty Montgomery, a converted wide receiver, at running back. So McCarthy called on quarterback Aaron Rodgers to throw the ball. And throw the ball. And throw it some more. Not surprisingly, Rodgers ended the 2016 regular season with career highs in passing attempts, 610, and rushing attempts, 67, with most of the runs coming on scrambles. After running back Eddie Lacy sustained a season-ending injury in the fifth game, Rodgers threw the ball more than 40 times per game, including the playoffs, as the Packers rallied from a 4-6 start to reach the NFC Championship game. McCarthy is facing a similar situation now. The Packers go into today's game at Cleveland needing to win their final 4 games just to get to 10-6 and give themselves a shot at a playoff berth. With backup quarterback Brett Hundley still learning on the job and Rodgers not due back until next week at the earliest, McCarthy's direction on offense is clear. He must call on rookie backs Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones to run the ball. And run the ball. And run it some more. With Hundley capably throwing the ball down the field in only 2 of his 6 starts and the 2 rookies looking like a potential dynamic duo, McCarthy has been calling more running plays than ever. He needs to call even more. Williams and Jones have each had 100-yard rushing games and now both are healthy and fresh at the same time. The offensive line has found a solid groove as run-blocking unit. Indeed, for the first time since Mike Holmgren and Brett Favre arrived in 1992, running the ball is the best thing the Packers offense does. As much as it pains McCarthy, a pass-first coach who spends hours plotting to create favorable matchups on the perimeter, the Packers need to become a run-first team. They usually pass to set up the run, now they have to run to set up the pass. That would take McCarthy well out of his comfort zone, though, to be fair, he always cranks up the running game when the cold weather hits in December. I think every year there's a new identity, tackle David Bakhtiari said. Obviously, you're going to be passing. When you've got the best player in football, Rodgers, on your team, you're going to want to put the ball in his hands more times than not. I think every team every year has a different identity. In 2014, Aaron won the MVP, but we ran the ball a fair amount, especially with Eddie and especially later on in the stretch we were getting a lot of carries. The 2014 season was Lacy's last good one with the Packers, and the emergence of Williams and Jones has given the Packers hope that they can get back to a productive, yet still complementary, running game. McCarthy is trying, too. The Packers rushed for 160 or more yards in 4 of their past 8 games. But for some reason, McCarthy can't jump in with both feet and commit totally to the running game. There have been plenty of examples of that since Rodgers was injured. After the Packers rushed for 181 yards against New Orleans, including 131 by Jones, they ran only 17 times against Detroit. Jones had just 5 of those carries. The following week against Chicago, Montgomery and Jones got hurt in the first half and Williams rushed for 67 yards, all in the second half, as the Packers finished with 160. The following week against Baltimore, however, McCarthy called passes on 10 of the Packers' first 12 plays. It was the same in last week's victory over Tampa Bay. After they rushed for 93 yards in the first half, the Packers called passes on 5 of their first 6 plays in the second half, leading to consecutive 3-and-outs. There were mitigating factors in those situations, of course. A succession of 3-and-outs can skew the statistics. A low number of plays overall, a problem since Huntley took over, can limit opportunities. Perhaps it's not even possible in today's NFL to commit to a run-first offense like Dallas and Denver did in the 1990s. Whatever the reason, it doesn't appear McCarthy will ever stray too far from his pass-first roots. "It's more wide open than ever," he said. "It's about scoring points, scoring more points than the other team." The fear, obviously, if you commit to that style of offense, is because you only have so much time to practice, where in the old days, pre-2011, you had more time to maybe be a little more multiple. So when you commit to one side or the other, if you get in a game where you're down 2 or 3 touchdowns, you're not really built to come back. I've always thought you need to do both. You definitely need to when you're the Green Bay Packers. You're going to play the most important part of your schedule in November and December, and you need to run the football and you need to stop the run. Still, McCarthy's predilection as an offensive coach is to attack the opponent's weakness instead of playing to his team's strength. Today's opponent, the Browns, don't have a lot of strengths, but run defense is one of them. That will present a dilemma for McCarthy when he calls plays today because the running game is his offensive strength. A successful running game would reduce the load on Huntley, keep Green Bay's cornerback challenged defense off the field and, looking ahead, help Rodgers ease back into the job should he return next week. Now all McCarthy has to do is fully commit to it. Contact Tom Oates at oates@madison.com.